Christina and her fiancé, Vincent of Odessa, Texas, always knew their ideal family would involve two little ones who could grow up together. But since every family has to start somewhere, the couple decided to first adopt a Tamascan puppy named Raven. The new pup was, of course, welcomed with loving arms, but not too long after Raven joined the family, Christina and Vincent had a change of heart. So the three of them quickly drove back to the shelter in order to make an unusual request that stunned the workers. Christina and Vincent always pictured themselves having a big family, and now that they were engaged, this idea finally started to become a reality. When it comes time for couples to begin considering having children, they will often have the talk beforehand. You know how it goes. When should we have them? How many? Can we even afford to have kids? It's a decision that will affect them for the rest of their lives, so planning is essential. All too often, people jump into the parenting game when they're not fully committed. Kids are a full-time job with unlimited amounts of overtime. Many couples who opt not to have children often decide to welcome animals into their home instead. Sometimes they treat even them as if they are kids, like these pugs enjoying the day riding in the front seat of a baby stroller. So after visiting several animal shelters around their hometown, Christina and Vincent settled on an adorable Tamascan puppy that they named Raven. They loved having her as a part of the family until they began to realize their mistake. It didn't take long for Raven to warm up to her new life with Christina and Vincent. But as the couple got to know her more, they noticed a very particular problem that could no longer be ignored. Raven was so full of energy and always wanted to play. As happy as Christina and Vincent were to keep their new pooch entertained, they knew she really needed a sibling to keep her better occupied. So with the pup in tow, Christina and Vincent headed back to the shelter to look for a feline friend for Raven. I had always wanted a dog and a cat to grow up together. It's been like a life goal, Christina said. After introducing her to a few kittens, the shelter workers brought out one last little guy. Immediately, the connection was apparent. By the end of the day, papers were signed, and the family had welcomed Woodhouse the kitten into their home. I wanted them to be able to get along well. I wanted her to actually meet the cat and have the cat get along with the dog as well, Christina explained. Christina couldn't believe how quickly her new furry children were getting along. At one point, Raven grabbed one of her peanut butter rawhides and held it for Woodhouse to lick, Christina said proudly. Furthermore, it was like Raven and Woodhouse were incapable of growing tired of one another. They snuggled in the morning, hung out at the park during the day, and cuddled before bedtime. Even though Raven was the bigger, more dominant sibling, she didn't mind letting little Woodhouse boss her around. Turns out you don't have to be a dog to be the top dog. Both animals love joining their owners on long car trips too. What was one of their favorite places to visit, you might ask? It was the beach. You'd think a cat wouldn't be too fond of the ocean, seeing as they tend to avoid water, but Woodhouse was different. Once he stepped out of the car and hit the shore, he was hooked. Christina and Vincent always made sure to celebrate every holiday with Woodhouse and Rasman. Look at the patriotic outfits the animals were sporting on the 4th of July. One year, the buddies even celebrated their birthdays together. What's that delectable treat Woodhouse and Raven were eagerly waiting to devour? Peanut butter hot dog cake, of course. Every picture Christina and Vincent took was made infinitely better by the presence of their two pets. The couple might have decided to hold off on having actual children, but these four still mate for one cute family. No matter how you look at it, one thing was clear: Woodhouse and Raven make a great pair. Despite their obvious differences, they get along swimmingly, and it seems like Christina and Vincent loved that about them the most. See the way they hang out like it's meant to be? That's exactly what Vincent and Christina were obviously hoping for when they decided to start a family in the first place.